She's like, it's racial, it's political, it's polarizing, it's a lot of things.
Yes.
How many NBA players are more famous than Caitlin Clark? LeBron, Steph, absolutely.
Maybe
Is Kate?
Durant.
That's what I put. I wrote down KD maybe.
Yeah.
In 1 year, out of women's basketball for a horrible team when she arrived, outside of LeBron and Steph, she is the most well-known basketball player currently playing in the United States.
Oh, yes. And I don't think that's close. Like,
Consider how casual observers might recognize certain football terms like tush-push without knowing specific quarterbacks. This phenomenon extends to basketball, where numerous NBA stars lack mainstream recognition despite their athletic excellence. Among active basketball players in America, only LeBron James and Stephen Curry surpass Caitlin Clark in terms of widespread recognition. Kevin Durant might compete for third place, but Clark's celebrity status after just one season playing for a struggling franchise demonstrates remarkable reach.
I think I might have said this to you last year, that I thought the most famous basketball player under 30 was Caitlin Clark. And it's, like you said, I don't think it's particularly close. Like she is demonstrably and inarguably more famous.
Sports enthusiasts have become increasingly sophisticated over the past decade and a half, largely due to social media's explosive growth. Platforms like TikTok provide educational content that enhances fan knowledge. This technological shift has transformed how audiences consume and understand athletic entertainment. The challenge for sports supporters lies in recognizing global versus domestic fame. While Derek Jeter commanded respect during his prime years, Madonna's worldwide recognition far exceeded his reach. The Yankees brand itself carried more weight than any individual player. Many athletes who dominate headlines within America remain unknown internationally unless one follows sports closely.
Than all of this generation's NBA stars. She just is. Like, it really,
Yeah.
LeBron is, I don't know, probably one of the 20 most famous people in the world. At a secondary level, there is Steph, and at a far different level, there is Durant. And the next basketball person, like active basketball person, is Caitlin Clark. Like
Clark represents the most recognized basketball player under 30 years old. Her fame transcends typical sports boundaries, encompassing racial, political, and cultural discussions. This level of recognition surpasses virtually all current NBA stars from her generation. LeBron James ranks among the 20 most famous individuals globally. Curry occupies a secondary tier, with Durant further behind. Among active basketball personalities, Clark follows these established superstars in terms of public awareness. This recognition benefits both the sport and its fan base. The situation resembles comparing LaMelo Ball's fame to Tyrese Halliburton's skill level. While most knowledgeable observers acknowledge Halliburton's superior abilities, Ball maintains higher public profile due to various factors beyond basketball performance.
I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that's controversial. I think that's just obvious. And I think that it is awesome for the sport. And I think that it is awesome for sports fans. And it is what I think some people need to be okay. Like, this is apples and oranges, but not exactly. And this is not a fair comparison, but just the audience is smart. They'll figure it out.
Dedicated women's basketball followers sometimes confuse popularity discussions with player rankings. Clark earned first-team All-WNBA honors and presents legitimate arguments for top 5 league status. Before her recent injury, she appeared positioned for serious MVP consideration. However, experienced league observers might reasonably place her 7th overall while acknowledging players like Brianna Stewart and A'ja Wilson. These rankings don't diminish her impact or importance to the sport's growth.
I think it's probable that LaMelo Ball is more famous than Tyrese Halliburton. No one with a brain thinks he's better than Tyrese Halliburton.
But he is more famous.
You agree. So I think sometimes, like, diehard WNBA or women's basketball fans conflate the discussion about fame and popularity with a ranking of players' quality. Now, Caitlin
Right.
Clark is, to me, I mean, she was first team All WNBA last year.
Fame occasionally outpaces ability, as demonstrated by Anna Kournikova's tennis career. During her peak visibility, Kournikova's celebrity status far exceeded her competitive achievements, ranking outside the sport's top 20 performers while maintaining massive public recognition. Conversely, ability sometimes precedes recognition, as seen with Nikola Jokic's early career trajectory. The optimal scenario occurs when fame and skill align perfectly, creating supernova moment. This phenomenon occurred with LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant during their respective peaks. Clark appears destined for similar alignment, potentially becoming the league's premier player while maintaining unprecedented visibility. This combination proves invaluable for sport development, as her presence attracts newcomers who discover the product's quality upon arrival.
She has a legitimate argument that she's a top 5 player in the league, and before this injury, probably was going to make a real case to win league MVP this year. But if someone's like, hey, I have WNBA League Pass, I watch the whole league I have for years, I think she is currently the 7th best player in the league, I'd listen to him. Like, okay, maybe, like, you know, Breanna Stewart, Asia Wilson, like, whomever.
The WNBA offers unique physicality absent from modern NBA play. Players engage in more contact due to limited vertical space, creating a chippy, competitive atmosphere. This style appeals to fans seeking traditional basketball elements. When quality products face sampling challenges, breakthrough personalities become essential. Clark serves this role perfectly, bringing complications that don't necessarily require complex analysis. Her singular talent combined with extraordinary fame creates game-changing dynamics for the entire league. College basketball provided additional advantages through her rivalry with prominent opponents, establishing emotional connections rarely found in contemporary men's college basketball. This mirrors college football's success, where players remain associated with institutions rather than professional destinations.
But that's not the discussion. Now, it is also important that your fame not lap your ability. Again, not to like, I'm just thinking because we're talking women's sports, an example of that to me would be like, this would make me feel old, but Anna Kournikova. Remember, so she was at a time the most famous women's tennis player, and I think she was, during a lot of that time, not one of the 20 best. She was more famous, far more famous than she was successful. But it's quite often...
Clark's unique playing style draws comparisons to transformative athletes like Tiger Woods, who revolutionized golf through superior distance, putting, and distinctive appearance. Audiences gravitate toward unique, different performers who stand apart from their peers. The question of replicability emerges naturally. Just as no second Stephen Curry exists despite numerous three-point specialists, Clark's combination of skills appears singular. With more elite male athletes worldwide than female counterparts, finding comparable talent becomes increasingly challenging. Basketball features two primary entertainment archetypes: supreme vertical athletes and exceptional shooters. The first category includes young LeBron James, Anthony Edwards, and historically Dominique Wilkins and Julius Erving. These players perform aerial feats unavailable elsewhere.
That your fame lags your ability, as I think happens to Nikola Jokic, as an example. And it is also often that your fame, is a few steps ahead of your ability. When it is a supernova moment is when when you are the most famous and you're the best. Like that that was LeBron with the NBA, obviously Jordan, Kobe, at least was close to the best, if not the best for a brief period.
The second category centers on extraordinary shot-making ability, which captivates television audiences. Two player types dominate modern basketball success: large, strong playmakers like LeBron, Luka Doncic, and Jokic, plus indomitable shooters, with Curry representing the premier example. Clark embodies the second archetype, bringing Curry-like impact to women's basketball. Her shooting ability and perpetual movement create defensive overreactions, generating easy scoring opportunities for teammates. Aaliyah Boston benefits tremendously from screen-setting situations where defenders must account for Clark's shooting threat. This dynamic creates 4-on-3 advantages with vacant paint areas, similar to Curry's impact with Golden State. Even when Curry's shooting percentage declined from peak levels, defensive respect for his ability maintained team effectiveness.
My take is she could be a billion-dollar athlete. Like, are you surprised by it? Like, when I see these numbers, I'm like, oh, this is Tiger in the tour. This isn't even Jordan. This is totally different.
Well, I think when you look at basketball, there are two real kind of like ultimate show type of athletes that you see, meaning like must-see television.
Clark demonstrates similar influence despite shooting struggles early in her second season. Opponents guard her based on capability rather than current performance, illustrating her psychological impact on defensive schemes. Clark already functions as arguably the league's premier offensive engine while maintaining significant improvement potential. Ball handling under pressure remains challenging, and turnover rates require reduction. Technical adjustments to her shooting form, particularly shooting while moving right, present clear development opportunities. Her competitive intensity suggests rapid improvement in these areas, potentially establishing her as the league's best player within 1 or 2 seasons. The deadly movement shooter archetype opens numerous offensive possibilities, making her appointment television for basketball enthusiasts.
And it's the supreme vertical athlete, which think like young LeBron or kind of like Anthony Edwards now.
Dominique was for a while, yeah.
Like the guy that does stuff in the air that is unlike anything you see anywhere else in
Dr.
the world.
J, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the second piece of it is just unbelievable shot making. Those are the two things. Those are the two things that like really bring eyes to television. To take it a step further, there are two types of basketball players that I think are far and away the most winning impact in the current game of basketball. It's the big, strong playmaker. Think LeBron, Luka, Jokic.
Referees continue adjusting to Clark's unique impact, similar to historical challenges officiating dominant players like Shaquille O'Neal. Curry faces similar whistle inconsistencies, suggesting this represents common treatment for game-changing talents. The WNBA initially underestimated her popularity tsunami, struggling with scheduling and promotion. Current efforts show improvement, with televised games and marketing centering on her presence. Asisha's balance fair treatment against potential player resentment regarding her attention.
And it's the indomitable shooter, which there's really only been Steph. I think those two types of players are the players that give you the best chances to win basketball games in the modern world. Now, what makes it fascinating to me, because that's what Caitlin Clark is. She's a different type of player, and she can do a lot of different types of things, but she's essentially bringing a Steph Curry-like basketball impact to the WNBA. It's really this simple.
League insularity, shared with baseball, creates defensive attitudes toward outside attention. After decades of limited coverage, sudden focus on one player generates mixed reactions from established participants. This parallels Tiger Woods' early career reception and Bryce Harper's baseball experience. Television exposure drives audience development beyond Clark's direct impact. Viewers attracted by her presence discover league quality, developing appreciation for other players like Nafisa Collier. Strategic marketing would maximize her television appearances, creating opportunities for opponents to showcase their abilities. This approach mirrors successful UFC promotion, where Conor McGregor's popularity elevated entire events. Viewers initially attracted to main events gradually developed interest in undercard fighters, expanding the sport's fan base through strategic programming.
If you can shoot the way that she shoots, or the way Steph shoots, and you can perpetually be in motion, running around, inevitably there is an overreaction to your shooting ability. And we see this all the time with Caitlin. Just like you're going to see Aaliyah Boston get nonstop easy buckets in the mid-range or rolling to the basket, because every time she sets a screen for Caitlin, her defender is stepping up to guard Caitlin. Because as she comes off of that screen, if you're not there, she's going to shoot it and she's going to make it. And so there's a reaction that inverts spacing and brings a 4-on-3, because you bring multiple defenders away from the rim. There's a 4-on-3 with a vacated paint. And because of that, there's a lot of easy opportunities to score there. Like, that's the thing with Steph Curry. Like, Steph Curry is not the same shot maker that he was 4 years ago in 2021. But just the simple threat of him running around gives the Warriors a chance to score. And that's the thing. Like, Caitlin hasn't even really started hitting shots yet this year the way that she's capable of.
The principle applies broadly across entertainment industries. Individual creators starting from modest beginnings demonstrate how passionate audiences generate comprehensive coverage, ultimately benefiting entire industries through increased attention and investment. Athletic entertainment operates cyclically outside football, depending heavily on individual stars for audience engagement. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird rescued the NBA from financial difficulties, while Michael Jordan's departure caused 50% rating declines. Golf has produced multiple generational talents including Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and Phil Mickelson. Boxing followed similar patterns with Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Marvin Hagler before Larry Holmes's era reduced casual interest.
But everyone knows she can, and they guard her in that fashion. And so to me, it's kind of like a proof of concept in that if you can shoot and you can run around the way that Steph does, and you can strike fear into a defense in that way, the trickle-down effects with the way that defenses guard you just make everything so much easier for her. And, like, you could argue she's already the best offensive engine in the WNBA, and she's literally a second-year player. And she still has so much room to improve. Like, she still struggles with ball pressure. She still turned the ball over too much against the Liberty the other night. She still has a little bit of an issue where she kind of crossfires across her face, which makes it so she can only shoot going left. She needs to build it out so that she can shoot running to her right as well. But, like, judging by her psycho-competitive attitude, she's probably going to figure that stuff out in the next year or two, and then she'll be the best player in the league. And so, like, to me, it's just she fits the mold of one of the most impactful types of basketball players you can be today, which is the deadly movement shooter. If you're a deadly movement shooter, it just opens up so many things for an offense. And honestly, I just think I think she's must-see television, Colin. I've watched all 4 of her games, and I'm in my busy season. Like, you'd think I'd be taking a break. My wife said to me the other day, she's like, "You're watching more basketball?" I'm like, "It's Caitlin Clark. We're watching more basketball. Come over here. Let's watch this." Like, she's incredible.
Even George Foreman's second career required grill commercials to revive boxing interest among general audiences. These cycles demonstrate sports dependency on compelling personalities for sustained growth. The NBA currently faces similar transitions as LeBron and Curry's dominance concludes without clear successors. Increased parity might prevent new star emergence, creating interesting challenges for league marketing and audience retention. The WNBA's patient development finally produced its first transcendent figure, comparable to golf's historical progression. Clark's emergence represents natural evolution rather than anomaly, suggesting sustainable growth potential for women's basketball entertainment.
Finding superstar like a Michael Jordan. Is that the one, Rob? If you can.
I'm looking for the clip.
Yeah,
It looks
okay.
like that's
Anyway,
just a
so
photo.
then outside of that, RG3 and comes out and says, man, Caitlin Clark is a superstar and she's, bigger than life and all this stuff. Brittany Griner is playing a game, and this is what Brittany Griner calls. I was not going to comment on any of this stuff until this took place. Watch what she says. The entire internet has reacted to this. Here's Brittany Griner. They're playing against the Indiana Fever, and look what she's saying. Go ahead, Rob.
For the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
That pretty much sounds like trash effing white girl.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest.
So the whole market reacts to this with Brittany Griner, right? And then
Controversy has erupted surrounding Brittany Griner after a game between the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Accusations are spreading that Griner used a racial insult directed at Clark during the tense final moments of the matchup. Following the Fever's narrow 81-76 victory, a video began circulating online that allegedly shows Griner saying something offensive as she exited the court. Clark had scored 11 points, while Griner fouled out with only 5 points in 25 minutes of play. Many are interpreting the clip as containing the phrase white girl, sparking a wave of outrage.
the other quote, Rob, then I'm going to wrap this up and then I'm going to go to Adam. Put the quote of Brittany Griner, what she said about the NBA. This is so funny how all this stuff works out, right? She says, this is from Brittany. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there, watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. It's called the freaking game that they pay you money to play. Don't play the game.
Clark, who has drawn massive fan support, appears to be receiving hostility from certain players. This incident has intensified questions around how the league is handling these tensions, when minor physical altercations result in fines, but racially charged remarks go unaddressed. Criticism of the WNBA's leadership grows louder. Many are now asking why Clark is not receiving more protection and respect on the court. The most recent controversy stems from a game that drew attention not for the final score, but for the moment Griner walked off the court. Visibly frustrated after her performance, cameras captured what many believe to be Griner uttering a derogatory remark. Though lip reading isn't an exact science, repeated slow-motion analysis by fans seems to show her saying phrases like trash and white girls.